Peace, this is Anton the Bum, aka the Benevolent Universal Magician, and this video is about the benefits of fasting. I just personally completed 6 days on my fast and I'm still going with it, but I certainly don't recommend that for beginners. And in a little while, I'll tell you about how a week and a half ago I initiated the 6-day fast and I stopped early because my body was telling me that I needed to stop. So always listen to your body and reset, and you can reapproach it at a later time if you need to. But let's get into that later. The first thing I want to say is that people have been fasting for thousands of years. It's not a new fad. And those with high consciousness and those who are the most spiritually connected knew the benefits of fasting and utilized them in order to connect in that way. So that's important to know. Now, as far as the physical health benefits, as I promised, first and foremost, the reason that it's so healthy in so many ways and has so many health benefits is because essentially what happens when you stop ingesting food is that your body needs to sustain itself, and what it does is it starts converting damaged, unhealthy cells into fuel. And by doing so, it leaves behind only the healthy cells to regenerate and reproduce. So you're left with only healthy cells in your body after that point, and that's why it has so many benefits to it. But to get more specific about the health benefits, the things I'm about to mention are all backed up by science. It's not just the conscious community believes it. I know a lot of you don't believe in all of that. So science is something more tangible that you can point to, and you can do your own research on this and verify it. Don't just take my word for it. But all of this is backed up by science. Number one, it reduces aging. I would argue that it actually can reverse the aging process, but it certainly reduces aging. Makes your skin better. It reduces wrinkles. It makes you more vivacious. Whatever else is associated with aging that you don't want to happen in your body, it can help prevent that. Number two, it improves cholesterol and blood pressure, which is huge for a lot of people, especially in this country. And if you struggle with either one of those things, I highly recommend you look into this. Number three, it fights and reduces inflammation. So inflammation is basically just acid that causes the mucus, which causes the diseases, most of the diseases that we struggle with. And when you reduce the inflammation and the acid in your body, it no longer provides an environment for those diseases to thrive. So that's important. And that's the basis behind the Sebi diet, which is why it's so effective. Number four, it helps control blood sugar and reduces insulin resistance. So that's huge for anybody with diabetes. Not only can this help combat diabetes, this can actually rid you of diabetes if combined with a healthy diet. You won't need to be taking insulin shots for the rest of your life like the pharmaceutical industry wants you to do. Number five, it boosts brain function and it helps to prevent neurodegenerative disorders. So not only will it make you sharper while you're young, but as you get older, it will prevent things such as Alzheimer's and other degenerative brain disorders that slow you down as you age. It'll keep you sharp for longer and keep you on point, which is important anytime, but especially during these times. Number six, it increases growth hormone secretion, which is vital for building muscle and for metabolism. I must say, I've been working out during this fast, and I actually feel stronger than ever. And, in the past, I felt kind of weak and lightheaded while fasting, but I'm really starting to feel the strength right now. So it makes sense that it does those things. Number seven, it helps to prevent cancer, and it can even help when you have cancer and you're going through chemotherapy. It's been shown to be helpful in a better outcome with that. So that's an important thing to know. I hope none of you have cancer and none of your loved ones do, but anyone who does should know that that is something that can help. And the last one is the obvious one, which is that it helps with weight loss. That's not why I did it, but I must say that since doing this 6-day fast, I can see the lines in my abdomen again, my six pack, which I maybe 4 or 5 months back I had, and it was showing, and I was excited about it. And then I put on like a thin layer of fat over it since then, and I've gotten rid of that just from the 6-day fast. I'm starting to see all the lines again. I'm excited about it. I'll be at the beach this year, whether anybody else is or not. Quarantine or no quarantine, I don't give a shit. I'm going to the beach, even if it's just me. Anyway, now we'll get into why I fasted and what my experience has been. First off, I fasted. The reason is all the things I just mentioned. And also because I just am looking to get even more aligned spiritually and kind of declutter mentally, physically, and this is a good way to do both. So that's the reason. Now, my experience with it is that, as I said, about a week and a half ago, I started out. I decided to do a 6-day fast. I hadn't fasted for like at least a year. So it was a little bit of an ambitious goal. What happened was the first couple days I felt great. By the third day, I was feeling a little bit weak and lightheaded. And so I ended up making it to 3 3/4 days, 90 hours, and I decided to eat again. And that's why I say you got to listen to your body. I wasn't feeling good. I wasn't enjoying it, and I decided to discontinue it for the time being. And during that fast, I was actually mixing sea vegetables, cayenne pepper, and lime juice into my water to give myself some nutrition. But I still felt that way, and I discontinued it. I ate for 3 days, and then I decided to reapproach the fast. When I reapproached it, I started out with the intention of doing it for 6 days, but with the things that I mentioned in my water to add the nutrition. But what ended up happening was I felt so good without any of that and just with the water. I felt so nourished and refreshed just with the water that I decided to see how long I can do that, and I actually made it the whole entire 6 days, 144 hours only with water, and now it's been about 146 hours. So that was my experience this time. So it was important for me to reset after listening to my body, and it made it that much easier. Another reason I have an easier time initiating this type of thing is because on a regular basis, on a pretty much daily basis, I do what's known as intermittent fasting, which means that you only eat for a certain period of time during the day. So I eat during about a 2-3 hour window during each day, and I don't eat for the rest of the day. But during that time, I eat as much as I want. Now, mind you, for me, eating as much as I want isn't a problem because I stick to the Sebi list strictly. So it's not like I'm eating 6 Big Macs or some shit like that. So if you're still eating a traditional Western diet, you don't want to eat all you can or you want to during that window. But I recommend looking into intermittent fasting because it has a lot of benefits in itself, and it'll also be a good way for you to segue into getting comfortable with the idea of fasting in general, and it just promotes your resolve in making it easier to do so. So that is one of the reasons I have a good jump start. The first 24 hours doesn't even feel like anything because it's what I do pretty much all the time anyway. But anyway, so during this 6-day fast, I've been doing calisthenics. I've been working out, as I said, and I feel super strong. I'm as strong as normal when I'm eating. I'm doing just as many clips of push-ups and pull-ups, and it has not affected that at all. I haven't been getting lightheaded, and I feel good and have been getting things done. So I've had good results, and that all stems from the reset. If I would have just tried to go all the way through with the 6 days, I would have been miserable. So once again, listen to your body. I think that there is a reason for everybody to look into this and start it out, but I wouldn't start out with a crazy 6-day goal. If you're a beginner, start out with maybe a day or two, 3 at the most, and you'll get benefits even from that. And like I said, if you're not feeling like it's healthy for you to continue, don't continue. Eat something, because you gotta know yourself. Everybody's different, and you've got to know yourself and when something is good for you and when it's not, and you have to tune into that and use your intuition and your inner guidance to let you know what you should be doing, because nobody can tell you what's good for you. You've got to figure that out for yourself. But I certainly recommend looking into that. And now, to end the video off, I am going to now, so after the 6 days, I've decided I'm not going to go straight to solid food, because after a fast, it's not good to just jump right into solid food anyway. So what I've decided to do is spend the next 3 days having liquids infused with nutrition, and then segue into solid food. So the first thing I'm going to do is have a spoon of this olive oil, and that will be some sort of food-like substance. And then a little bit later on, after my workout, I'm going to have some of this hemp powder and mix it in my water, and then maybe put some of the sea vegetables and cayenne in there too, and give myself some protein, because I've been working out a lot in the last 6 days, and I wanna give myself some protein. And then over the next 3 days, I'll be doing things of that nature. And then after 9 days of a liquid fast, there will be 6 days of a water fast, 9 days of a liquid fast. Then I'll start introducing solids, and I'll start out with tahini, which will be mixed with date syrup, which is fucking banging. And tahini is essentially just ground up sesame seeds, but it's like a peanut butter, not only taste, but it's peanut butter consistency. So it's not fully solid. So I'll start out with that and get my body reaccustomed to solids. And then the next day I'll have some raspberries and some other things that are semi-solid. And then the third day I will have like real food, which for me is chickpeas and ancient grains and things of that nature, like amaranth, teff, kamut, things you may not have heard of, which you should research and try to incorporate into your diet, because most of the grains and other foods that we eat are actually manipulated by man, and they're not in their original form and don't have the health benefits that our food supply naturally is supposed to give us. Especially anything packaged, obviously, and all of the meat and dairy products are infused with hormones and chemicals, which is what actually makes them unhealthy. It's not really the animal products themselves, it's the way that they are raised and what they are given, and then it gets passed down to you, which makes them so unhealthy. So it's not just a moral issue to give up meat. It's for your own health. But I'm not here to preach about that. Look into the fasting. Look into incorporating some of these natural foods. Look up the Sebi list, and whatever you like on that list, incorporate as much of those as possible into your diet. It will help neutralize some of the acid and the damaging factors from some of the other things in your diet. I don't expect many of you to try to go all the way into the Sebi thing. It's hard to sustain because you have to pretty much make all your own food. But at least incorporate as many of the things you like from that list, and it will help neutralize the other things that aren't so healthy. So with all that being said, now I'm going to have a teaspoon of olive oil, and it's going to feel like a fucking gourmet dinner right now after 6+ days. Yo, I swear to God, that's fucking banging. And that's another thing about this. That's another benefit of this. Anytime you enact your self-discipline, what happens is you become so much more appreciative of the things that you normally take for granted. So that's true with weed as well. I barely smoke weed anymore. I used to smoke all day, all day, every day. Now when I do smoke, not only do I get super smacked off of a couple pulls, but I also appreciate it so much more, and it's so much more of a vivid high. It's like, it's just so much better. Same thing with food. When you restrict yourself and you don't take food for granted anymore, then when you reintroduce it, you are so appreciative of it, and everything tastes so much better. You can really taste every bite, and you eat consciously with the understanding of the nourishment and everything that's involved in it. So it's a good way to really be appreciative about the things that we just take for granted every day. That's about it for now. I'm going to go do my workout. I'm going to have the water with the protein powder. That's going to feel like a gourmet meal also. And like I said, I'll continue for 3 days with the liquid, total of 9 days. Then I'll jump back into eating again. I highly recommend it. Do it at your own pace. Research anything that I said. If you don't believe me, it's all verified scientifically. And have a good day. Peace and love. Wish you the best. Peace. So it's now been another 3 days since I last spoke to you. At that point, I had been through 6 days of a straight water fast. And then for the last 3 days, I've continued fasting, but it's with some nutrients added to the water. So the first day, the 7th day of the fast, I added hemp protein. I thought that was going to make me feel better, make me feel stronger. I actually didn't feel too good adding that. It's a powder. I mixed it in the water, shook it up, and drank it like that. And it didn't help, and I didn't like it. So I discontinued that. And then the last 2 days, I've been drinking water with kelp, which is a sea vegetable that's in powder form. Chopped up ginger. I squeezed lemon juice in there. I put cayenne pepper. And I think that's it. And I've been shaking that up and drinking that. That's the added nutrition that I put into the water. So I'm not going to bullshit you. The last 3 days, there's been some challenging moments for me. Particularly earlier today, I was feeling lightheaded. I wasn't really feeling energetic. I wasn't feeling too great. And I felt like ending the fast right there. But because I was so close and I am determined and super disciplined at this point in my life, I decided to continue on. At that point, it was like 11 in the morning. I had till midnight. It was only 13 more hours, and I didn't want to not reach my goal over 13 hours. But with that being said, if you're in the same situation, I recommend you just listen to your body and you eat when it's time to eat. I'm just that type of person where I'm very driven right now and very determined. But I also have done this before, and I kind of know the limits. So if you're inexperienced and you feel weak and lightheaded, you should just eat right away. But the funny thing that happened is I felt like that at that point earlier in the day, and then as the day progressed, especially when I got right up to the point where I was going to be able to eat again, I started feeling super good and energetic and strong. And so now it's after midnight. I've completed my 9 days 100%, and I can eat now. And I still haven't eaten. It's been about 20 minutes since it turned midnight. And I just finished doing a bunch of push-ups. And I didn't even think I was going to be able to work out today the way I felt earlier. I've been working out every day during this. And I haven't lost any strength as far as what I'm able to do with calisthenics. But I now don't even feel like I need to eat, to be honest with you. And I could continue going with this fast, but I'm not going to. I said 9 days. I want to reward myself. I bought some food for this moment that will go bad if I don't eat it, so I'm not going to do that. Particularly some bananas and some kale that will not last me going too long into continuing the fast. So I'm going to end it right now. With that being said, I am going to do a 21-day fast soon. Now that I've got 9 under my belt, there's something significant about the number 21. A lot of people do that fast, a lot of very experienced fasters. I'm somewhere in the middle range. I'm not experienced faster, but I'm not a beginner, and I think I can move to that. So stay tuned and watch me approach that in the future, maybe in another month or so. But as of right now, I've earned this moment. When I went and got my water, I got 6 gallons of water the other day, which I usually get 6 gallons at a time. That's part of my workout. I carry it back. It's sort of like a shoulder exercise. I put 3 gallons in each hand, and it's about 25 pounds each hand. And I carry that either about 15 blocks or 5 blocks, depending which supermarket I go to. And that's like a shoulder exercise. Sometimes I even do shrugs with it while I'm walking. But when I was doing that this time, I didn't have the drive to do any of that shit. And I only did the 5 block away supermarket, and I still just couldn't wait to get home. So while I was there, I decided to pick this up. This is organic applesauce, and I picked that up for this specific moment because, as I said earlier, I'm not going to jump right into solid foods. I want to give my body a chance to readjust because it hasn't been digesting food for 9 days. So I'm going to start with things such as this, and in a little bit I will make what I spoke of, which is the tahini with the date syrup. And I'm also going to mush some bananas up and add that, and it's so fucking banging. And that's why I bought the bananas. So right now is the moment of truth. It's been over 9 days since I've had any form of food. I'm about to open this and have this. So you get to watch me. And if the olive oil was banging, imagine what this is going to be. It smells fucking amazing already. All right, here we go. Motherfucker. This shit is fucking banging. Banging. Who would have thought applesauce would get me hype like that? But that's what happens when you discipline yourself and you go without something that you're used to having. It's so much better when you reintroduce it. That's, like I said earlier, one of the great benefits of doing things of this nature is it makes you that much more appreciative. I appreciate this fucking applesauce, man. This shit is beautiful. You can watch me take another bite because I don't want to stop yet. Oh my God. Yo. This shit is the best thing in the world. I'm so appreciative. I'm so appreciative. The last couple days, last 2 days, I would say, I've been dreaming of this moment. And like I said, the last couple hours, like the last 6 hours, I didn't even care anymore. I felt good. I got over the hump of the feeling tired and all that. But, man, this shit is fucking great. I really recommend trying this fast. Like I said, start out slow. Start out with a day or two. Work your way up gradually over time. But in a little bit, I'll be back. I'm going to not only eat the tahini with the mushed up bananas and the date syrup, I'll show you how to make it. Super simple. And then you can try that too. That's a Sebi recipe. And I'm going to start putting a lot of Sebi recipes up on this channel and showing people how to make them so that they could start eating that way. I think it's truly the way to optimal health. So I'll be back. Peace. So now I'm going to show you about the dish I was talking about with the tahini, the date molasses, and the mushed up bananas. And I probably don't even need to show you because it's that simple as what I just mentioned and mixing them together. but I'm gonna show you anyway. This is my first Sebi recipe that I'll be doing a video for, even though it's attached to another video. And from this point on, I'll be doing Sebi list recipes on their own on this channel. So here's the main ingredient: organic tahini from Trader Joe's. This is like $3.69, which is an important number for me anyway. But banging, very good price. I highly recommend it. Then we got this date molasses, which I don't know how easy it is to access. I happen to have a store near me. It's an Indian store with different things from all over the world, and they have a great variety of healthy products and herbs and things like that, and I get it from that store. If you can't get that, you could always substitute it with agave syrup, which they also have at Trader Joe's. This is the bottle. Obviously, that's clear liquid. There's something else in there now, but that's the bottle. They have that at Trader Joe's for a couple of dollars. And then the other ingredient, obviously, is just bananas. And you just mush these motherfuckers up. So let's get it done. Got the Pyrex. I don't cook crack. I make Sebi food. People who have a sweet tooth that find themselves eating a lot of refined sugar, which is fake sugar, man-made, which causes all our health problems and diabetes and all that. If you substitute some of your desserts with this, I guarantee you this is just as good and, in my opinion, way better than your average man-made sugary product. And the health change that will happen from that will be dramatic. So give that a shot. Alright, so look, simple as that. Take a fork, bang, bang, bang. Mush this motherfucker up. I put 3 bananas. You put whatever you want for the ratio that you're gonna put the tahini. I put 3 bananas for the entire jar of tahini, because after that applesauce, I feel like eating more, and I'm gonna eat the entire jar of tahini. A lot of protein in the tahini. Let me take a look and tell you exactly how much. All right, 8 grams of protein at 9 servings. That's 72 grams of protein in just this jar. That shit is good. So that's a good substitute for people that don't eat meat and dairy like me. If you have that, if you have hemp seeds, and you have chickpeas, and me, I also add amaranth, which is also high in protein, you'll get more than enough protein, even if you work out every day like I make it a point to do. I don't always do it, but for the most part, I work out every day. Incorporating these proteins, I don't feel like I'm missing out on anything. So, what we do now, we got this. I'm just going to pour it in, basically. It's a little bit oily at the top, so normally you stir it up before you take some out, but because I'm throwing the whole thing in there, I just pour the whole thing in and then stir it after it's in here. That's pretty much all of it. There's a little left, which I'll scrape out later with a spoon and just eat it so I don't waste it. And then put the date molasses. You put however much you want, put it to taste. I'm not a super sweet tooth, so I'm not gonna go too crazy, but I'm gonna put a good amount. That is a good amount. And that's gonna give it a nice, tasty, sugary kick. And then you just mix the motherfucker up. It's not necessarily anything wrong with sugar. There's a problem with artificial sugar. You could have date sugar, date molasses, coconut sugar, and there's nothing wrong with that. It's when we have that refined sugar that's been processed that we start fucking our bodies up. That's where all the diabetes and shit comes in. because some of the healthiest foods on the earth, like all of the fruits and all that, raspberries, apples, blueberries, you name it, mangoes, they all have sugar, but it's natural sugar, and that shit is good for you. So now I've mixed it up pretty well. I might mix it a little more, but just to not prolong the end of the video anymore, I'm gonna take a fucking bite. Mind you, all I've had is the applesauce since my 9-day fast, so this is gonna be great. Oh man. Life's fucking beautiful. Give it a try. Replace your traditional desserts, all that fucking artificial sugar shit that's killing you. Replace it with this and put in the comments whether you think it's better than the average dessert or not. I guarantee most of you are gonna think this is better. This shit is incredible. Tahini has sort of like a peanut buttery taste. Mixed with the banana and mixed with the date syrup, the date molasses. Incredible combination. That's it for now. Wish you all the best. Peace and love, and I'll see you soon. Come back and check in on me for the 21-day fast. And I know you probably think I'm nuts, but I'm enjoying this. I grew a lot from this 9-day fast. A lot mentally, spiritually, and even physically. I cut out a lot of the, I got rid of a lot of the shit that wasn't necessary in my body. Like I said, a lot of the dead cells and all that shit that we don't need. And my stomach is popping right now. I see the abs crazy. So it's a lot of benefits. Peace and love. I'll talk to you soon.